In the headlines, 5 girls regain freedom in Zamfara after 7 months in captivity. UK updates travel advice for Abuja, warns citizens to avoid 22 states. Speaker, House of Representatives tells ASU to remain calm as union executives meet in Abuja over October half salary. Away from Nigeria, French investigators head to Tanzania to help probe plane crash. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ile. Thank you for joining. And now the details. 5 girls have regained their freedom in Zamfara 7 months after being kidnapped by bandits in the northwestern state. Upon their release, the victims met with the Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle, where they were received at the government house in Gusau. It is not exactly clear when they regained their freedom or if any ransom was paid to facilitate their release. However, the special advisor to the governor on public enlightenment, media and communication, Zailani Bappa, confirmed their release in a statement. In his remark, Governor Matawalle commended the doggedness of the security operatives and urged them to put more efforts in ending the problem of banditry in the state. The United Kingdom Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office on Monday updated its travel advisory for Abuja, warning against all but essential travel to Nigeria's political capital. In a statement, the FCDO also warned British nationals to avoid 22 states in Nigeria. The FCDO said its travel advisory is constantly reviewed to make sure it reflects the current situation in Abuja and Nigeria. The statement also noted that the British High Commission in Abuja is open from Tuesday, 8th November 2022 for normal services. The UK and the United States had in October warned of possible terror attacks in Abuja, especially at government buildings, places of worship, schools and other centers where large crowds gather. Both countries also commenced the evacuation of their citizens from the Nigerian political capital. However, the federal government dismissed the terror alerts, saying that Nigeria is safer than in May 2015 when President Muhammadu Buhari came into office. Now, presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has promised farmers that agricultural transformation will be one of his major economic drivers if elected president in 2023. Tinubu said this at a town hall meeting with representatives of agro-commodity groups from the 19 northern states in Minna, Niger State. He urged heads of cooperatives and association of farmers to mobilize their members to vote for APC, which has a plan to develop the agricultural sector from subsistence to commercial level in order to achieve food sufficiency in the country. He said that the meeting was one of the critical engagements to enable him understand the challenges facing farmers and farming activities in order to achieve food sufficiency through mechanized agriculture and improved value chain.
Hope is now renewed. Confidence is back. Help is here. Prosperity is with the farmers, and they are all here. You are the fishermen. You are the corn grower. You are the yam tuber producers. You are the heart of agriculture and heart of the prosperity and sustenance of peace, stability, and joy of our country. Thank you very, very, very much. I hereby promise you farmers, I've heard quite eloquently and richly a very, very thoughtful and fundamental paper from Atiku Bagudu.
Meanwhile, coordinator of the APC Presidential Campaign Council in Zamfara State, Senator Kabiru Marafa, has urged the presidential candidate of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to concentrate on other states, saying that there is no opposition in Zamfara State. Marafa, while speaking during the launch of the Tinubu-Shetima campaign in Zamfara, said people of the state will overwhelmingly vote for Tinubu during the February 25th presidential election. The former lawmaker also urged the Zamfara State Governor, Bello Matawalle, who is the coordinator of the Presidential Campaign Council in the Northwest Geopolitical Zone, to concentrate on the 6 other states in the region, while urging Governor Matawalle to allow the PDP governorship candidate Dauda Lawal, who he described as a friend and brother, to return to APC. Marafa said that the PDP in the state has since realized that there is no vacancy in Zamfara State Government House. In the meantime, the Federal High Court sitting in Gusau, the Zamfara State capital, on Tuesday nullified the governorship primary of the People's Democratic Party that produced Dauda Lawal Dere as the governorship candidate of the party in the state. Justice Aminu Bappa held that the PDP cannot field any candidate for the 2023 governorship election in the state. This is the second time that the court will nullify PDP governorship primary in Zamfara State. In September, the court nullified the previous primary that produced Lawal Dare as candidate following a suit filed before it by Ibrahim Shehu and 2 other aspirants challenging the credibility of the primary. The court ordered a rerun, but Lawal Dare again emerged winner at the rerun also in September. Now, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says that the 5 governors of the People's Democratic Party are bonded to save Nigeria. He said nobody can break the ranks of the 5 PDP governors who have continued to insist that Iyorchia Ayu should resign as the national chairman of the party. Wike noted that because the governors remain dogged in their demand, people have made several efforts to break their ranks but cannot succeed. In addition to Wike, the other governors that make up the 5 are Samuel Otom of Benue State, Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State, Okeze Ekpazu of Abia State, Ifeanyi Ogwuanyi of Enugu State. The Rivers State Governor spoke at the new banquet hall of the Benue State Government House, Makurdi, during a dinner on Sunday night organized in honor of the G5 by Otom. The new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has received thousands of decampees from the ruling All Progressives Congress, the opposition People's Democratic Party, and other political parties in Bauchi State. The defectors were received at the railway football field within the state capital. Adamu Imam has more.
The state chairman of the new Nigerian People's Party, Shehu Sani Malam, assure all the campees that the party will not disappoint them, having joined the party at a time Bauchi people are yearning for change of government at all levels across the state. The party flag bearer, Senator Halliru Dauda Jika, says NNPP is the only party that will salvage the Bauchi civil servant from delayed salary payments due to what he termed insincerity of the present administration in the state. We are going to contest the election. I am an indigene of Bauchi who was born and brought up here. Everyone knows where I come from, and it has become imperative to stand firm and win this election. We will not allow the state to continue like this. By the grace of Almighty God, we will emerge victorious at the poll. One of the decampees, Alhaji Garba Chiroma, who spoke on behalf of the defectors, said they decided to join the party in order to get the right people of the helm of affairs of the Bauchi state government. Honestly, we decided to decamp because of his good intention as the governorship candidate of NNPP. We are not looking at the so-called empowerment programs of the present administration in the state. We don't care. We will defeat them hands down by God's grace. Some stakeholders of the party who are sure of their commitment towards the success of the NNPP also pray for victory in all positions during the 2023 general elections and urge the electorate to vote for the party. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has appealed to the members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities to remain calm in view of their latest outcry over the reported half payment of their salaries by the federal government. In a statement he personally signed in Abuja on Monday, the Speaker noted that efforts to find lasting solutions to the concerns frequently raised by ASU were on, and noting that President Muhammadu Buhari has indicated interest to wade into the latest concerns raised by the union. Gbajabiamila noted that the position taken by the executive that it was not obligated to pay salaries to lecturers for the time spent on strike is premised on the law, and that government's legitimate interest in preventing moral hazard and discouraging disruptive industrial actions. Speaker Gbajabiamila also restated his commitment to providing sustainable reforms to the Nigerian tertiary education system. He noted that the challenges facing Nigerian tertiary education are multifaceted, hence the need for all stakeholders to come together and provide solutions. The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Jos, Tanko Ishaya, says lecturers of the university haven't gone on strike but decided to teach from home because of financial difficulties faced by them. This is coming 2 days after the members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities issued a notice of stay at home until their withheld salaries were paid by the FG. In an interactive session with journalists held at the university on Monday, the Vice-Chancellor said, to the best of the knowledge of the university management, the academic staff decided to teach from home and not that they had declared another strike action. Ado Musa has more.
The Vice-Chancellor said, soon after the National Executive Council of Academic Staff Union of University called off its prolonged strike, the university management agreed that in an event where the lecturers are not paid when academic activities resume, they could continue with their academic activities virtually using technology, adding that they had put in all plans with respect to virtual platforms in order to ensure both academic staff and students are able to engage.
Trying to ensure that the policy of no work, no pay is actually implemented. I'm appealing to government to look at the university system slightly differently from a number of perspectives. And I use this opportunity to say that the role and the responsibility of an academic is not only teaching. That is, the role of an academic is not only teaching. Perhaps we have not been saying this loud and clear, but I use this opportunity to make it very clear that as an academic, your responsibility and your letter of appointment describes three main responsibilities: teaching, research, and community engagement.
On the issue of no work, no pay, which the federal government has insisted on, the Vice-Chancellor has appealed to the federal government to reconsider its position and pay the lecturers their salaries, as the work of the academic staff was beyond teaching in classrooms, as it included research and community services, which he believed that the lecturers had engaged in even during the prolonged strike.
Because of lack of payment of salaries, academic staff can do their lectures from home using the technologies, and we have put in all the plans in place with respect to the virtual platforms in order to ensure that both academic staff and students are able to, to engage with academic staff, while studying, while delivering either lectures, tutorials, or whatever from home.
The academic staff of the university had on Sunday issued a notice directing all its members to stay at home and asked students to wait until the backlogs of their salaries were paid. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at why minimum wage is never enough. Details of this and more after the break.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories again. 5 girls regain freedom in Zamfara after 7 months in captivity. UK updates travel advice for Abuja, warns citizens to avoid 22 states. Elsewhere, after months of postponement, a United States court in Los Angeles, California on Monday sentenced international fraudster Ramon Olorunwa Abbas, popularly known as Hush Puppy, to over 135 months, that's over 11 years in federal prison. The U.S. District Judge Otis D. Wright II ordered the 40-year-old convict to pay $1.7 million in restitution to 2 fraud victims, according to a statement sent by the court. The judge said that Hush Puppy conspired to launder tens of millions of dollars through online scams and flaunted his luxurious crime-funded lifestyle on social media. He pleaded guilty in April 2021 to 1 count of conspiracy to engage in money laundering 10 months after he was arrested in Dubai, United Arab Emirates in June 2020. Hush Puppy has remained in U.S. federal custody since his expulsion from the UAE. Niger Delta federal lawmakers have called for the resignation of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk. The lawmakers made the call in reaction to her alleged neglect of the entire region of the Niger Delta, particularly Bayelsa State, where the United Nations have declared a disaster zone. They described her action as divisive and punitive, stating that her actions show lack of experience, skills and capacity to handle such a specialized and highly professional ministry, while also faulting the statistics used to ascertain which areas needed more attention than others. They said that most oil companies in the region have been forced to declare force majeure due to the impacts of the devastation caused by heavy flooding on the facilities, which have hampered operations in the region.
Surprisingly, the federal government has set up a 90 days time frame committee. This committee was set up without state participation, only for this committee to discretionarily call on state participation. Why would you, in this kind of important issue, set up a committee, a national committee, without liaising with the states and bringing on board representatives of the state? Because all these locations that we are talking about belong to states. They fall into various states.
what we see in politics, our style of politics, is politics of prebendalism, okay, where state resources are, funneled to areas where they are less needed, and people who need them more are allowed to grow. Today, all the resources are aggregated under one umbrella, ecological funds, and they are disbursed by one man who may not have known where Kolokuma or Opokuma is, who may not have known where Ndoni that suffers this flooding is. All that we do is to sit down in Abuja and determine where it's flooded, determine where it's affected by erosion, and disburse our common wealth, which is derivable from the same environment that is affected.
Nigerian Communications Commission is set to put up another slot of spectrum in the 3.5 gigahertz spectrum band for auction before the end of the year 2022 to boost the deployment of fifth-generation services in parts of the country. This was part of deliberations when the management of Media Trust Group visited the executive vice chairman of the commission, where both organizations agreed to further expand and leverage existing relationships through the engagement of additional services. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu reports.
At the interface with the management of Media Trust Group and the Nigerian Communications Commission, there is a consensus that the role of media cannot be overemphasized in disseminating information to the public, as well as building partnerships for mutual benefits.
But we always use the media in order to provide information to the public. We wouldn't have been able to do it, no matter how powerful our Directorate of Public Affairs is, because you have what it takes to reach out. Absolutely. We don't have that reach. Okay, so we appreciate the very, very important work the media is doing, and in particular, the very, very important work that Daily Trust is doing.
The executive vice chairman of the commission informed the Media Trust team of the first action turnout of the 5G technology, which the commission is set to action again, with promises of substantial network improvements, higher connection speed, mobility and capacity, as well as low latency capabilities to communication services in Nigeria.
Now commercial 5G services in Lagos. As we speak, MTN has launched 5G commercial services. And we've spoken at length about the usage scenarios, ultra reliable, low latency applications, very fast. Okay? And then we talk about driverless cars, machine-to-machine control. Okay? Even though those are applications we do not expect to see, but what we have started with is the enhanced mobile broadband services. I'm sure when you eventually enjoy the 5G experience, you'll be surprised at how fast, you're able to, access the internet as well as download material, from your internet. The speed has gone, much higher than we know it. Of course, at affordable cost.
The deployment of the 5G technology is to act as a catalyst for smart cities in the country and a platform for the creation of jobs that support the digital economy, as stipulated by the National Policy on Fifth-Generation Networks. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, since the National Minimum Wage Bill was signed into law for implementation nearly 5 years ago, civil servants in Kano State say that their fortunes have not changed for the better, looking up to the federal government for another review in the next 1 year. In this report, Trust TV's correspondent Idris Debrin reports that workers say that the current high cost of living is making it difficult for the minimum wage to sustain an average worker.
Babangida Inwa is a civil servant in Kano who earns 30,600 naira a month. But with the high cost of living eating deep into his earning, he's wondering if civil service will continue to be his way forward. Over the last 5 days, Babangida says he has been waiting for salary to buy the little he could for his family, but the salary has not come yet.
My salary is 30,000 naira. Once I buy one bag of rice,
it's finished. Therefore, other things like children's health, school fees, nothing for that. Not only one bag of rice. Even if I'm buying maize, 30,000 naira will not buy 2 bags of maize for me, which means the whole salary cannot sustain me. According to Workers' Union in Kano, most civil servants are still suffering despite the implementation of the national minimum wage. The price of food items have gone high, which makes it even difficult for low-salary earners to meet up with the demands of their families, even with the 30,000 naira minimum wage.
How much is a bag of rice presently? I think if you buy even a bag of rice, it can split even the 30,000. So that is why he said government is looking at ways where it can enhance the salary of Nigerian workers. But even if that is not done, I think from 2019 to date is almost 4 years. So if you see that by next year, the new national minimum wage law provides that the minimum wage of this country should also be reviewed according to the provision of the law.
Meanwhile, workers say that despite the minimum wage, some local government areas in Kano are yet to fully implement it, another problem creating tension among government workers.
The minimum wage is not fully implemented, especially at the local governments. Okay. We have been discussing with the labor and the government cycle on how to complete the minimum wage. The minimum wage at the state workers is complete, but those at the local government is halfway implemented. Okay. But still we are discussing with the state government to make it complete as they did it at the state.
While the national minimum wage bill provides that the worker's salary be reviewed after each 5 years, workers in Kano hopes that the review in about 1 year from now will help bring relief to their long years of hardship. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now, away from Nigeria, French air accident investigators are being deployed to Tanzania to assist in the investigation of a passenger plane crash that killed at least 19 people on Sunday. The plane, which crashed in the Lake Victoria, was an ATR 42-500 turboprop made by the company. And that's a wrap on the news update. Watch more via all our social media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching.